Hello, hello, my lovely, lovely leaguers. My lovely Ligarians. Okay, so... Alright, so we're gonna be playing Nunu in the jungle again. Oh my goodness. When does it stop? We're gonna be playing for the, red side, or no. I'm sorry, blue side, what am I talking about? We're gonna be playing for the blue side, Talisman, Potion, Totem, taking our Consume, because that's all we take as Nunu. And, this matchup is interesting. I feel like we've got the better team composition. If all things are equal, with the game, going early to late game with, you know, equal kills or equal CS, then I feel like we have a strong late game. And the reason why we've got an Alistar to soak up damage, to set up plays, we've got a Scion. We have 3 tanks and 2 carries. It's a pretty potent, engage, and the enemy team has sort of a clunky engage. I feel like they're gonna really have to Blitzcrank will fall off later on, so he's gonna have to get off some like really awesome pulls, but if he does pull, he's gonna most likely pull a tank. So Blitzcrank will fall off. They'll try to do their best to kite, but I don't feel like they're gonna do that great a job later in the game. And then not only that, it might be risky. You're risky later on. Trying to get Baron because it's so difficult to outsmite, outconsume a Nunu. So right now they don't even know I'm here, which is nice. Last couple of games, people have been noticing my good works here. Alright, nice. Okay, so Olaf, looks like Olaf got a level 2 gank off. It's not going to have too much impact on the game, because Ezreal is late game and Ashe is late game, so they really won't impact things. Even though it can be demoralizing, it can be demoralizing to get to die so early. But that's alright, because Olaf is going to miss out on a lot of farm here. We're 10. There we go. And one of the things, like, I never remember my smite damage, so every time you do try to smite something, it's no problem at all just to check out how much damage you do. Blood boil and speed myself up. And speeding, like, when I was thinking about champion select earlier, and what essentially... Oh, he did take my red. Dang. Okay. Alright, Olaf, well played. Anyway, like I was saying, I was considering Cho'Gath as my jungler. But one of the things I find so... I'm just either not used to it, or whatever the case is. Oh Oh, something's going down in the bot lane. Maybe I can help. Oh, nice. No. That was art. There was a ward right there. We're just gonna leave. Yasuo got a kill, but he died for it. We're gonna be looking to get our raptors. Now, how's Scion doing? Looks like Scion and then we're going about even. So our mid lane and the Scion, they're all going about even, which is just fine. It's just like I said prior, if everything goes even, let's check CS. 22 to 25, slight advantage. Ashe has got, let's see what Ashe has got. 31 to 26, slight advantage on our side. And Scion has 32 to 26, another slight advantage on our side. Now, judging... Okay, there's Olaf again. Wow, he's really disregarding jungle. We're going to place ward right there. We're gonna scoop up these guys. Yeah. This meta makes it so difficult to do effective early ganks. So I'm like, the way that I'm doing this game is just ignoring everybody. Because our late game is going to be just crazy. Alright, gonna hide over here. Now, we might be able to get red, but I'm kind of doubting it here. Because the Olaf should be coming back by now, but we'll chance it. Okay, there's Olaf. Wow. He is disregarding his jungle so much. I've taken everything on this side of the map. Man, he's gonna be crying in his cereal when he's got nothing to do over here. Alright. Man, they're just gonna be bawling. They are gonna be crying so bad when I just take all of their farm. So 13 to my 41 CS. That is just crazy, man. Now, he did steal my red. So he could be going after my red. Doing a little counter jungling, but there he is. He did not steal my red. Alright, I'm gonna scoop up. Scoop that up. Alright. Now Yasuo just overextended a bit, but he might come out unscathed, but he did not come out unscathed. He came out scathed. He came out quite scathed. And we're just going to clear this. Easy peasy. And we can even prevent the lane from pushing. So this game, okay, so right now it's 1-4. You wouldn't think that's too good. We're not gonna worry about him up top. Because the tower is nowhere near being destroyed. But late game is just gonna be looking pretty Pretty nice for us. One thing I would like to do is get back to bottom lane ASAP, or get to bottom lane. We're gonna get Cinder Hulk. And we're gonna get some boots. Get some of that. Because it's about 10 minutes, and this this segment, the way that I feel about it, bot lane's about to break out. We're gonna wait here for a moment. We're gonna act like Ashe did this. Well, no, Ashe has got to back up a bit. Now they just need to come a little closer here. They can probably feel the fact that I'm here, but it's fine. I'll conserve my energy. Here I go. Oh, I got the kill. Alright, that was fairly messy. We're gonna try to protect our Alistar here. But we got it. Now, sadly, we didn't get the double kill. But it just showcases like the powerhouse that we bring in their team's inability to do anything. And check it out, Yasuo is just doing his own thing, man. And that ward just paid off for itself. We're not worried about this guy. There's no, like, if they take it, that'd be so risky. Especially when the Olaf has missed so much farm on this side of the map. We're going to, now since there's been nothing over on this side of the map for a while, Olaf has probably been thinking, oh man, I'm never going to get anything on this side, so I'm just going to... Now, Olaf is doing something quite risky. This is going to cost Olaf the game right here. Okay, he took that. We're not going to worry about Olaf, because he is caught out so poorly. Yeah, so he is, yeah. So we're actually going to help the Scion if we can. Alright, we got our full, there we go. I let him have the kill. Hey. We aren't going to invade, there's a possibility that they'll come on this side, or I'm not exactly sure when the Olaf died. Okay, there's Olaf. Alright, so we're gonna steal some more of his jungle. Because he's going for his, he's going for his blue. And so if he's going for his blue, we can safely take this. So right now his CS is just, oh man. His CS has gotta hurt so bad. Let's check it out. 37 to my 85! Oh! What? 37 to my 85. We are just, I mean, if we're not already dominating, man, how are they ever gonna come back? And then, Cho'Gath is out of position here. Woo! Uh-oh. Got it. Aw, dang. Okay, that's alright. I'll give the double kill to Scion. Alright, so what should we get? Ninja Tabe? Yeah, I'm thinking Ninja. No. I think, yeah, we're gonna get that. Then we're gonna get some of that. Yeah. So Scion is pretty big right now. And that was the desperation play from the Olaf. Like, he's been so frustrated with me stealing all of his jungle. So Olaf is definitely going to be around here somewhere. So we're going to want to ward first. Okay. Just cleaning up. We're gonna go help his lane. Because he's away from his lane. Or that. Easy peasy. We're gonna push this a bit. Okay, gonna push that. Because we aren't sure exactly where Rise is, and he could be getting this. He could be anywhere kind of like sneakily. Yeah, they took that. Okay, that's not gonna go anytime soon. So I can stay covered, so they don't know exactly where I am. Rise had to come out from where he was. And I might be able to, okay, there's a, okay, kill on the Yasuo. Oh, the power of the tanks, man. That is scary. How do you deal with that? Alright, we're gonna pull this out a little bit, so just in case the Scion, or not the Scion, the, alright, we're gonna steal this. Alright, so we're gonna lead this way a bit. This gotta be rough. Oh, that's rough, man. Uh-oh. Okay, we should probably go. They're still fairly strong, not super strong. So we're gonna get, oh yeah, that's a good idea. That is a really good idea. I'm gonna speed up Scion. No reason. He's gonna miss that for no reason. Or he has a reason. He's not very good at aiming. Yeah, that's a good call. It was ready to go down. I'm gonna give this to there you go. You give this to him. Cause he made the call to get it. So with Yasuo, we'll be able to alright, I don't even have to use my ultimate here. Alright, so this game is gonna be over pretty quick because Yasuo is gonna pop his oh, I can probably do something. Yasuo is gonna pop our buddy here. And this thing's gonna go down really quick. I'm gonna speed up my buddy here. Hey. Not very nice. Alright, now we gotta bail. Oh! That is rough. Oh man, that is not alright. This game is over. But they still hung in there. I gotta give them some props there for hanging in there. Uh-oh. Oh no. Our buddies. Alright, we gotta bail. Okay. So I gotta commend it to them. They actually, you know, continue to fight there. That's awesome. So we're gonna get that. We're gonna get components of Spirit Passage. And get that. And then we're gonna get Baron. So I gotta commend it to them. The fact that they did not give up. That is really like heartwarming right there. So many people would just be surrendering at this point, but they are really, they're trying to give it their all here. And we're gonna throw a war over there. We're gonna throw a war over there, and then we're gonna get to business. Alright, speed up Ashe. Just by the numbers. Speed up Ashe again. We're looking at 760 as a smite. Or we're just gonna consume it. Alright, so the smart, safe play to make here is just do the other towers. And they do a pretty good job at defending, I think. We're just gonna remove obstacles here. Speed up our backline damage. Speed up our buddy here. Right, that should be it. Easy peasy. Well, that game just went way too well. Alright, so who's getting it? Oh man. I forget who pinged me to go for the rift. And I think it was the Yasuo, so we're actually gonna give great shot calling to the Yasuo. Because the game just ended so much more quickly. So much quicker when we did that. That was such a good call by the Yasuo. So Yasuo, whoever that was, had really had better at that time, had better general sense of the gameplay than I did. I was like, I'm not even paying attention to Rift, just paying attention to getting farm and all this other stuff. But it is to say that there is quite a few things to pay attention to, but things like Rift are important because we took that mid inner tower like that. Anyway, so let's do a little itemization here. Mercury treads, because they have various types of binds, and Mercury treads are so nice to reduce CC, because you've got CC coming from the Cho'Gath, the Rise, CC from Blitzcrank. All of them have some form of CC, some hard and some soft CC. And then for auto attacks coming from Ezreal, coming from the Olaf, just auto attacks coming out the Huza. You get Frozen Heart for that because of the reduced attack speed aura. It's pretty simple, and not only that, people are not going to go for Nunu that often. So building Randuin's Omen, stuff like that, to prevent auto attacks hitting you. Nobody's going for the Nunu. And then we were building into some MR, so we could have protection against Rise, against Ezreal's Mystic Shot, damage coming from the Cho'Gath, and we were so ahead on farm too. Look at Olaf's farm this game. 54 compared to my 142. I nearly tripled him in CS. And one of the reasons why I tripled him, which is really ridiculous, is originally Olaf said to himself, well, the Nunu's probably going to invade me, so I'm going to invade him, which is an excellent thought. Because then you steal away experience from me, and then you can probably catch me, you can either catch me up top, which is fairly hard to steal away from a Nunu, if they know what they're doing, or you can continue to steal my bot side. So what you do is you have to go to the trouble of remembering to ward around your top side, his red, and while I'm parading around the time that red is up, he's invading my red. It can work that way, but one of the downsides is Nunu is going. I think Nunu he beats the clear of Olaf, but it can't be by a whole lot. But I will beat his clear because of my massive amount of damage it consume. However, consume has a fairly long cooldown, and Olaf can continue to do damage. So the time may seem shorter because you do a lot of damage in one go, but to wait down for the cooldown again, to finish off what's left, might be the same time, relatively close to the Olaf. So Olaf is a late game champion, but the way that he was playing put him behind. And another thing was when he was going top and he saw nothing down there, was me punishing him from going bottom, for punishing him when we saw him in the river area. I just said, Olaf, your jungle is mine, man. And so it gave him few options. He's trying to say, I'm trying to be useful on the map. If I can't do anything CS-wise, I'm going to try to gank. I'm going to try to do something. I'm going to try to get a Scuttles. And And that's the scary effect that Nunu can have. When you're just scraping the bottom of the barrel trying to get experience. All the while, late game's coming up, and in their point of view, or in my point of view, I feel like their comp is a little risky because they don't really have solid tanks. They've got a hybrid tank. I mean, it's not even a hybrid tank. Like, Scion took so many turret shots from the Rise, or from the Rise's turret. But we did so much basic damage to him from our normal abilities and his basic attacks and my slows that Rise was cooked, man. He survived for a little bit, but what could he do with all that CC? We slowed him, we stunned him, slowed him again. I got him in my ultimate. How is anybody supposed to survive that? So, then the Cho'Gath, he's going full tank, which is appropriate, but Scion's gonna have a bit one of Cho'Gath's big drop-off points. The reason why I was thinking about preferring him over Nunu. Nunu has some crazy abilities when it comes late game. Consume, and it's not like Cho'Gath's are, where you do that 1,000-something damage and you gain health. Nunu can do 12,000 damage late game. 12,000 plus damage. No. 1,200 damage late game, and he can do it within like 4 or 5 seconds. That's like Cho'Gath's R is up every 5 seconds. You're not going to gain the extra HP boost, but Nunu, I find, is so much, like, I play him so much better because with Blood Boil, you're able to get away from people. How do you get away from people as a Cho'Gath? You can't. He's so immobile. He's got no way to Cho'Gath. He's got no way to get away from people. It's so rough. But so you always have to travel with a group of people, which can be good, but the way that I kind of saw it is if we went all in, a full group of people, how is that going to play out? Just think about it for a second. We've got Scion, we've got Yasuo, we've got the cow, we've got Alistar. Now this is the way that the engage would go perfectly is if Alistar, he gets in there, he stuns somebody, and if he takes too much damage, he starts to channel his ultimate. Then at the same time, there's other options. Scion can be close by, and he can CC. He can double CC, meaning he combos the CC that Alistar did, and he continues to stun. And with these two tanky frontliners, Ashe is gonna feel comfortable enough to pew pew with her arrow, and then not only there, like, I can just hang back near Ashe and blood boil her, and she's gonna do so much damage. So, and then what is the enemy team gonna do? The Blitzcrank is gonna want to pull somebody, but he pulls. Let's say he pulls the Alistar, and it's a ways away, and he pulls him right into their party. Then Scion can use his ultimate, and then all hell can break loose. And then the CC coming from the tanks, coming from me. Like, I would hopefully try to protect our carries. And if their team engaged fully and completely, I would just rush in and do my ultimate. Then there'd be flashes and there'd be escapes, and some people wouldn't have flashes, and that team fight would go pretty bad for them. So that's sort of like a semi-perfect engage, but you also have to think about what the enemy team could do in retaliation, in regards? You want to keep Ashe in the back lane? Is any of their guys going to rush to the back lane? Is Olaf going to rush to the back lane with his ultimate, with his Ragnarok? Is Ezreal going to use his abilities to get closer to Ashe to take her out? Is it Cho'Gath? Is the Blitzcrank going to go to the side or something to try to pull Ashe? Is Ashe bad at predicting where Blitz is going to get pulled? So if you avoid those possibilities of what might happen, we have such a grandiose team fighting. I just see a better team fight with our team. And although these guys can pull off a team fight, even though they had a rough early game, they could do it, but it just would feel much more clunky. Like they would have to rely on some specific things. Other than that, we have the way that our team comp is. We have ways of avoiding, or we have ways to bandage the situation, more ways to bandage the situation. Like, oh, the team does this. Oh, guess what? Sion's going to use his ultimate, things like that. And if anyone tries to get Ashe, I'm going to try my best to get them off, to slow them. Now, Olaf, he's got his Ragnarok, and that will cause problems for the Ashe. So we all have to group on Olaf if he somehow gets to the back line and starts killing Ashe. But as it stands, Olaf doesn't have a lot of damage because he doesn't have enough farm. Oh, man. So he was doing some... Okay. But yeah. So we'll get back to itemization. The Ashe... Ashe actually went for the Blade of the Rune King, in addition to the Infinity Edge. So Ashe really doesn't have that much damage at the moment. And it kinda is told in her KDA. She's going about even. In my opinion, she's going about even with the Ezreal. Ezreal doesn't have that much damage either. So they're building for the late game. Both of them are building for the late game. And this is fine. If you get 2 ADCs and you're building for the late game and you're not hoping to get in skirmishes or small fights that often, then you're good. Because Ashe and Ezreal will not do that much damage. And they're looking for the late game fights. Ezreal will be able to kite people with his Iceborne Gauntlet, but right now he is in a deficiency. He is doing less damage than Ashe is, just because you get more attack damage, attack speed coming from Blade of the Rune King, and Infinity Edge is also making predominantly the most difference. He just doesn't have the same spike. He's gonna get a little bit from the Sheen proc. But as far as consistent damage, he's not going to be... He can't outmatch the Ashe. But although Ashe doesn't have quite that much damage, until she gets something like a Static Shiv, can she really, put out enough damage to say, oh, whoa, get away from Ashe. The Alistar, he's got Dead Man's Plate to get in position correctly, and he's got... Ninja Tabi to deal with the auto attacks coming from the Ezreal. I think that's fine. I think that's probably the best choice, because you need to take as much less damage from the autos as possible, and I think that's the right move to make. As far as the rest of the team is concerned, like if Alistar decided to go Ninja Tabi or change to not Ninja Tabi, but change to Mercury Treads, if he changed over, I think that would be acceptable, because when it came to team fights, the enemy team has a strong ability to CC, and if Alistar doesn't pop his ultimate, then he could take a lot of damage really quick, and he could possibly die being chain CC'd. So Mercury Treads would help more so in a team fight orientation. The Yasuo, he's got Hex Drinker, which is a very nice item with the Rise. And if you're having trouble with Rise early on, you can push earlier with a Hex Drinker, and it will provide you a decent amount of survivability. But I felt like the Yasuo early on was going about even, but when he got some of his key items or his core items, like Infinity Edge and Phantom Dancer, he really just took off. And that was, I felt like he probably took off more so mid to late game. I don't feel like we hit even late game because Yasuo and the rest of the team did a good job mid lane, and I'm not a mid game, and that's when Yasuo's spike is. Yasuo's spike is not late game, but the game never entered the late game phase. Like people just like Ashe just has 2 items. I just have 2 completed items on to my 3rd item. So some of us are a little ahead, but that's because I power farm. But Yasuo's strength is in the mid game, and he made it count. Hey, you made it count, the Yasuo. The Scion, I helped him get along. One of the issues that Cho'Gath has is lack of mobility. So when he's pushed up so far, forget about it. Even when Olaf tried to help the Cho'Gath, I was able to flash away, consume, and I kind of baited myself into trying to slow down the Olaf or something. So I died because I took too many hits from the Olaf, because he's thinking, I'm gonna die anyway. I'm gonna get you, Nunu. I'm gonna get you for stealing all my farm. But as a result, even though I died, Scion got a double kill. And when Scion is 6-1 and 8, and he was getting ahead in the early game, oh man, how do you deal with that? You saw what happened to the Rise. Scion was so tanky, and he took so much damage from the turret. But nothing, man. Rise couldn't do anything. That was rough. And so as far as Scion's build is, he's got Spirit Visage, he's got Sunfire Cape, and he's building into maybe Black Cleaver with the Kindle Gem. But Spirit Visage is going to help him versus the Cho'Gath. In addition, he's got Mercurial Treads, will help him easily versus the Cho'Gath, because Cho'Gath is quite all about CC. And then Sunfire Cape, because Scion wants to be close to his enemies. He wants to keep CCing. He wants to keep CCing. He wants that health. And Sunfire Cape is such an awesome item for the Scion. On the other team, you can see sort of like the disparage in levels here. But again, I've got to give them credit for defending their base so well. Like, I know, like in other games, people just say, "Forget it. Hey, forget about it." They're killing us at 12 minutes, and they're at our Nexus. Hey, forget about it. I've got to like, I wish I could honor their team for that. Like, what happened to the enemy honors? Rise didn't even get to the point where he can get his next item that builds from Tear of the Goddess. He was so behind. He like, Rise is late game, but in this meta, I feel like Rise is a bit weak. But maybe just because I haven't seen that many good Rises, or maybe because, well, I don't know, because in this game it didn't get to late game. But I thought that Rise's early game was okay because he was going even with Yasuo. But come mid game was such a stomp, with Scion getting double kills, me influencing the bot lane a little bit, getting the kill on the Blitzcrank, and but yeah, the mid game just blew up, and Scion is not mid game. He's late game. He is so late game. Yasuo came out so strong because he is mid game. His power spike hit mid game, and it just went wild that game. And Ashe is late game too, so she wasn't as predominant in her KDA. So yeah, so Rise, man, he couldn't even complete much of anything because he is late game. Although this meta, I don't think he's that strong, but it might be because I just haven't seen a lot of strong Rise players. Because one of the things that I find is late game is this meta, and you would think that late game champions like Rise would dominate, but it might be a thing where you need a spike in the mid, like in the mid, you need a spike of damage in the mid game to sort of push other lanes into the late game. Different ways to play lanes and the way that certain champions scale can assist other lanes that are late game. So let's say that this is a little complicated. But let's say Yasuo, he spikes, he does the most damage, and he's the most effective in the game mid game. But the top lane and the bottom lane, they're late game. If top lane and bottom lane are going equally, and if Yasuo is dominating his mid spike, if he knows that he's spiked his damage, the best thing to do is try to influence the other lanes to try to beat the lane and to try to get those lanes into their power spikes, which is the late game power spike. That's one strategy that you can have in mitigating certain risks, but that's a little bit on advanced. That's a little bit advanced strategy. That at solo queue, the best thing that you can do is realize that certain people have spikes, and you can use it to your advantage. The way that I was reading the map, the way that I was reading the game, makes me do it allows me to do certain things on the map. It says to me I can continue farming because I know even if Olaf gets a kill in the bottom lane, it's not going to make much of a difference. And that just comes with a little experience, and it comes with knowing certain champions spike in damage. Are they really powerful early game, like a Vi, like a Lee Sin? Are they really powerful mid game? Like a Yasuo or a Jace. Like these champions, they need to push for their power spikes to influence other lanes, and depending on how other lanes are, and depending on how the meta is, because right now I find that the meta is more prone to late game. They want people to do objectives. They want people interacting with Dragon and Baron. They want people to and to do that, you really have to get to the point of late game. Mid to late game, you know, if it's not a total stomp. All right. Getting away from that, we'll get to Ezreal. Ezreal really hasn't, he's delayed his power spike, but he's really waiting for that late game. He's doing fairly well with what he has. He's still waiting for his Miramane transfer, or his transformation. Miramane transformation. It still hasn't happened yet. He's good on farm. He's actually better than the Ashe. When I checked the farm early on, all of our team had good CS. That was encouraging, but it wasn't so much that it was like, whoa. But I mean, on the entire game scale, wow, that was not too impressive. At least 100 CS advantage, I think 75 to 100 CS advantage over their team. But that was team wise, global wise, and 100 CS ahead. That's a fair amount. So the Ezreal doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but with that, I think he did pretty good. So late game, he would have been a decent amount of trouble. It's just that we got Yasuo's spike damage mid game, and we just pile drive through them. Yikes, man. But they fended us off. We did not get their Nexus as quickly as we could. But instead, Yasuo knew what to do. He just did it by the numbers. We went top after getting Baron. And that was the right thing to do. By the numbers. But we were so powerful, the rest of the team kind of tried their luck to just hop on the Nexus. The Olaf has got Tiamid. Olaf's got Cinderhulk. And he's building some other components. So right now, Olaf does a fair amount of burst damage. He's got a decent amount of survivability. But as for killability, that is difficult. He can't solo anybody. He can't do too much versus me. When it comes to me consuming and smiting his camps away from him. So that's got to be just so frustrating. So he was really behind. If I was Olaf this game, I would so not know what to do. I would say, hey guys, this Nunu keeps stealing from me. I'm just blowing my stack here. So without these completed items, without and Cinderhulk is a powerful item. He can only do so much when it came to late game because he hasn't spiked. Like he does so little damage and he doesn't he doesn't have a lot to offer, but I think he still did pretty well, even though I stole a lot of his camps, and he was probably really upset about it. I'm sorry, Olaf. And the Cho'Gath, he's got Frozen Heart. He's got some ability to survive. He's going full tank, so he's not thinking he's gonna do much versus the Scion. He might be even he might have even been auto laned. I'm not sure. Boots of Lucidity so he can consume more. So he's working towards late game. That's what this guy is working towards. But why would you work towards late game and you would push Cho'Gath so far to the enemy side? Like, that's too much. Maybe he felt as though the way that the mid game was going, that he had to make a little desperation plays. But still, it's to go that far on the map and know that Scion's coming back, it asks the question, how good do you know your position and how, because that's, you have no escape. Even if it gets his Q on me, I would still be able to slow him down. Scion will be able to get him. Oh man. So he had a rough time top lane, and he did it twice. So something tells me that he was a bit fatigued about things. That the fact that he did it twice. He was out of position twice. He was too far on the other side. All right, maybe the second time he had a little more confidence because Olaf was in the area. But Nunu and a Scion, and I've been farming. He probably wasn't taking that into account. He was definitely not taking into account that Olaf was 54 set. I was running triple the CS. Okay. And lastly, the Blitzcrank. Now, sadly, Blitzcrank falls off late game. He's only useful for a couple of stuns, a pull, and if he pulls a tank into the group, that's trouble with a capital T, buddy. He's got boots mobility, so he's probably thinking that he's going to influence other lanes if his lane was a little more successful. But it's hard to get a kill when you're Ezreal and you don't do a lot of damage. Maybe Ezreal should have gone for an IE early, something like that, and they would have had an easier time. However, Alistar is going to make it hard on Ezreal because he's going to stun him up. He's going to knock him back. So I would say that boots and mobility is good to do what he was thinking is going to influence his lane, then other lanes, and he's going to be zooming all around the map. That's what you want to do as Blitzcrank. But unfortunately, he overestimated what he could do. But still, it's a good build. He's got Sightstone to put those wards on the map, and a Glacial Shard that will most likely be building into a Frozen Heart. But it could be possible he was also building an Iceborne Gauntlet. But that would have been ridiculous. Going offense when you really, really need to go defense. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Another episode of Nunu in the Jungle. This is Arch, and I'm signing out. Hi-oh!